call to order. The April 15, 2021 meeting of the Social Circle Board of Education is called to order. First on our agenda, prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask all those who would like to please stand as we pray the Lord's Prayer together and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Flags here. Thank you. Next, we have approval of the agenda. Dr. Hooker, are there any changes?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have one change. We would like to recognize our ROTC and our scholarship finalists after the media specialist appreciation.
Thank you, Dr. Hooker. With that change, you have the agenda in front of you. I have a motion to accept the agenda as presented. Do I have a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, please say aye. Agenda is approved. Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have the minutes from our last meeting. We have those before you. Do I have a motion to accept these minutes as presented?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say aye. Motion carries unanimously. The minutes are approved. Next, we have our board comment section. And thanks for your attendance. I mean, it's a great crowd. We love having lots of folks here. It shows the great support that this community offers the school system. And you're always welcome here, and we certainly appreciate you being here this evening. And you picked a great night because it's great when you can celebrate so many success stories. And we have a great number to celebrate tonight. And I would ask that each of you please respect all these students, especially, as we celebrate their accomplishments. And you'll notice later there's a break on the agenda. We would ask that everyone at least stay to the break. At that point, we'll have a 3-minute break. Those that need to go home to dinner or whatever can leave at that time. We hope that you stay, but you don't have to. We're not forcing you. But at least do stay through the break out of respect for all of our students, if you would. Thank you very much. Okay, and so the first thing we're going to do is ask Ms. Sally Robinson to come up, and we're going to recognize our Georgia Young Authors.
The purpose of the Young Georgia Authors Writing Competition is to encourage students to develop enthusiasm for and expertise in their writing, to provide a context to celebrate their writing successes, and to recognize student achievement in arts and academics. This prestigious competition has been engaging Georgia students for more than 2 decades and is open to any student currently enrolled in Georgia Public Schools, grades K through 12. The competition is sponsored by the Georgia Language Arts Supervisors and the Georgia Recent Network with support from the Georgia Department of Education. Social Circle City Schools grade level winners were chosen by grade level teams as models of exemplary writing and were submitted to the regional level of competition. Please join me in congratulating the following students for their achievement as grade level winners. From the primary school, for kindergarten, Blakely Braswell for her piece, Beach Fun. grade, Alice Cheney, for her piece, Gymnastics. For second grade, Miss Elisa Pascal, for her piece, The Attack of the Trees. From the elementary school, third grade winner is Lucas Trust for his piece, Grab Hand Man. Fourth grade winner, Bennett Joyner for The Lemon Tree. Fifth grade winner, Ryan Olivia Brown for Hard Times in the 1980s. Okay, middle school, sixth grade winner, Melanie Hunley for her Untitled Piece. I know we have several that cannot be with us tonight. Seventh grade winner is Miss Audrey Hicks for her piece, Break a Leg, Parker Hamilton. Our eighth grade winner, Miss Stephanie Waters, The Stories of Those Who Bleed. Okay. At the high school level, for ninth grade, Miss Emily Cannell for The New Emperor. Grade winner, Colby Dalton for The World of Cancel Culture. 11th grade winner, Miss Tori Poole for The Bedroom Floor. And our 12th grade winner was Miss Allison Samatellos for Why Do I Deserve to Live? All our winners.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson, and thank you, students, for submitting your stories, and great job. Next, we're going to ask Ms. Lisa Walliver to come up, and we're going to recognize our Georgia Honor Program semifinalists.
The Governor's Honors Program, known as GHP, is a four-week program, residential summer program designed to provide intellectual gifted and artistically gifted high school sophomores and juniors challenging opportunities not usually available during the regular school year. Managed by the Governor's Office for Student Achievement, the plan is to hold GHP this summer at Berry College in Rome, Georgia. The 2021 program will be the 58th summer, making it the longest continually running program of its kind in the nation. The program is designed to challenge and engage Georgia's brightest students and to provide participants with opportunities to acquire skills, knowledge, and attitudes to become independent, lifelong learners. Social Circle City Schools is proud to announce the 2021 Governor's Honors Program semifinalists. The two junior students represent some of the district's brightest and most talented students. Please join me in recognizing and congratulating this year's semifinalists. Ms. Natalie Barty for Communicative Arts, And Miss Madison Chambers for voice. Madison could not be here this evening. She is practicing for an upcoming performance, doing exactly what she loves.
Thank you, Ms. Walliver, and congratulations, students. Great job. And we moved our agenda around a little bit, so I'm going to turn over the Assistant Principal's Appreciation over to Dr. Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, we would like to recognize our assistant principals. As we were on spring break, that was the week of recognition for assistant principals across the United States. So if we can get a picture of our assistant principals. Thank you. Okay, and I'll just call their names out as this come about. Ms. April Burnfriend at our primary school, Dr. Clark, I was going to say Dr. Hargrove, I apologize, Dr. Hargrove. Dr. Clark at the elementary school, at our middle school, Dr. Patty Jo McCain, at our high school, Mr. Craig Hargrove, and Miss Miriam Ledford. I want to thank them for their support that they bring and the care that they have for our students and supporting our teachers and making the main thing, and that's educating our students here in social circle. And those are pictures of our assistant principals. Thank them. Let's give them a round of applause. Also at this time, I would like to recognize our media specialists. I would like to recognize Miss Brandy Owens at the primary school, Miss Melanie Brewer at our elementary school, and Miss Molly Tyree at the high school. These ladies do a great job of helping our teachers support the students with our reading materials. They believe in student voice. Students request books that they would like to have in the media center, and they go about getting those materials for the student. I really do appreciate, we all appreciate the work that they do in helping us becoming a better and high-performing school system. Again, let's give these ladies a round of applause. All right, at this time, I'll turn it back over to our chairman to recognize our honorable team.
Thank you, Dr. Becker. And I don't know how many of you know this, but our rifle team finished third in the world. Our team from Germany and a team from Colorado in a competition. And I'll let Colonel Bruce Chick come up, if you would, and recognize these students, student athletes, I'll call them, and tell us more details.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for having us this evening, Mr. Callahan and other distinguished board members. I was informed that I have 180 seconds to do the presentation, so I'm going to try to stick to the time for everybody's edification. For the distinguished board members and here at Social Circle, thank you for having the varsity rifle team here to recognize there are many accolades. I could spend hours doing it, but I won't. Dr. Hooker, assistant superintendents, principals, faculty, and staff, and most of all, the parents, thanks for joining us and to hear these recognitions. First, let me introduce the team. When I call your name, please stand up. You're going to have to do something. Okay? And I'll introduce you, and I'll tell you what their next steps are after this rifle season ends. So this rifle season starts 1 August, and it goes all the way to 24 April. It's a 9-month season. We sent a proposal to GHSA a couple of weeks ago to try to reduce that by 2 months. We should be finished in February, so we'll see if that goes through for next year. Seniors, we have 3. Jackson Davis, who's the team captain, he has been accepted to multiple colleges. He's still undecided. I'm going to go ahead and put the push in now. Go Dogs. I hope he chooses UGA. Cole Thacker, another team captain, he's been accepted to the Citadel in South Carolina, and he's going to join the Marine Corps active duty. And the last senior is Mr. Caleb Link. He's been accepted to Georgia Southern. Let's give those 3 rounds of applause. Our one and only junior, Megan Townsend, you'll hear more about her in just a few minutes. She's going to also be next year's team captain. I have 2 sophomores, Elena Russell and Weston David. And we have 1 freshman that keeps coming back. I don't know why, but she does. Ambry Lofton. We call her the new girl. In reference to the picture that you see on the screen there, the rifle team competes in 3 leagues of competition. First, we have the GHSA, which the team finished first in our division and second in our area. Last Tuesday night, we won our semifinal GHSA match, defeating Columbus High School, and now we'll advance to the state championship on April the 24th. Next. Thank you. The next league, we also compete in the Army JROTC rifle team that you heard a moment ago. We compete against all services, all components. The United States Marine Corps, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and 1,700 other Army JROTC units. In the primary match, Social Circle JROTC team finished 3rd in the world behind Fort Carson and Stuttgart, Germany. And we're now awaiting the results for the national competition. It's always nice to beat up on the Marines. Next, we have 2 members that proceeded past the GHSA and JROTC matches to try out for the National Junior Olympics. Mr. Jackson Davis and Miss Megan Townsend, and we're awaiting the results of those 2 as well. Last year, Jackson Davis tried out and was selected, but because of COVID, the final match at Colorado Springs at the Junior Olympic Training Center was canceled, and he did not get a chance to compete. This year, if Jackson and Megan are selected, they'll be our 2nd and 3rd Junior Olympians from Social Circle High School. Our first Junior Olympian went on to be a 3-time Junior Olympian and is now at West Point on the rifle team. Last but not least, last month we had 1 more member that was selected and nominated to compete for the prestigious 14th Annual Vincent J. Dooley Award and Scholarship. If you're not familiar with that award, it recognizes student athletes that lives life's principles by a code of conduct, learned through sports as an individual, a member of a team, and a member of society. Their motto is, I will give my time, my skills, and money as I am able for the betterment of my community and my world. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's recipient that was selected as a scholarship finalist from Social Circle is Mr. Jackson Davis. You did say go Dogs, right? Okay. All right. Thank you again for the invitation. We appreciate you giving an update. It's always good to see all of you. Thank you so much.
Great job. Thank you. Thanks for all you do for our students too, Colonel. Really appreciate it. Great job again, students. And again, we appreciate everyone coming out. We're breaking in our agenda. We're going to take a 3-minute break now. You're free to go to dinner if you need to or whatever, but you're also free to come back. We do appreciate you being here, and I hope you come back.
Okay, presented tonight. Is that good? Tonight is the February 2021 financial report. We'll begin with the general fund. With 67% of the year complete, we've received 67% of the general fund budgeted revenue, and we have spent 65% of the general fund budgeted expenditures. A review of revenue shows our local tax revenue is at 89%. Ad valorem tax collections are at 91% of budget, and TABT, which is our title ad valorem collections, which are your sales taxes on a new car, are at 65% of budget. Other local revenue is at 66%. We received our Zone 5 Walton County payment of $1.2 million and our Newton County payment of $665,000. The Newton County payment was about a 40% increase over the prior year. The enrollment increased from 194 to 256 students. The total QBE, Quality Basic Education, revenue is at 61%. The midterm adjustment from the state totaled an increase of a little more than $1 million. So this was due to an increase in our FTE from 1701 to 1768, and this resulted in an increase of funding of $397,000 and they decreased our austerity cut. It was at 11%, they decreased it to 4%. So that was an increased funding of $651,000. So those are the main components right there that helped us balance our budget this year. A review of expenditures, we're about 80% at pupil services, and once again, those are some of our renewal subscriptions that were due in July, and 90% in other support services due to the annual insurance premiums paid in July. So currently, revenues exceed expenditures by a little over $202,000. We anticipate ending the year without having to use any of our unrestricted fund balance. As I pointed out, we will have the negative amount due to the portion of the Facebook grant monies that we're using. Next, we have our special revenue funds. Listed below are all the federal and state awards. We now are at $3.9 million. For this month, we did add the new American Rescue Plan, which is $1.6 million. The two, and I just want to let you know about a little bit about what we used, the 2 rounds of CARES funding. They totaled about $902,000. We were able to cover the cost of increased janitorial services in our schools. We supplied thermometers, masks, and sanitizing supplies in our clinics and classrooms. We will be providing summer school to include bus transportation and meals. We are providing after-school tutoring. We reduced the current year furlough days from 5 to 2, and we have provided substitutes in our classroom due to COVID illness or quarantine requirements set by the CDC. We're currently working on the new funding from the American Rescue Plan that we just received of $1.6 million. We will continue to provide the increased janitorial services and supplies needed in our classrooms and clinics. We are planning to provide funding for additional summer school in the coming years for bus transportation and meals. We are going to continue to provide after-school tutoring. We will use a portion to help offset and balance our FY22 budget. We have increased professional learning to improve classroom instruction and remediate all of our learning gaps. And we are hiring a system-wide social worker. Next, we have our school food service fund. Revenues collected total 58% of budgeted revenues, and expenditures represent 61% of budgeted expenditures. Currently, revenues exceed expenditures by about $10,000. We will operate under the summer seamless option for the end of this school year, and we're awaiting guidance on the beginning of next school year. We're averaging about a 10% daily increase in our meals. In February, we served 25,050 meals. And finally, we have the SPLOS fund. SPLOS collections received in February total $138,000 from Newton County, and this was a 57% increase from the prior year, and $2,162 from Newton County, which is a 31% increase. We have received 70% of our budgeted revenues in the SPLOS fund and have spent 55% of budgeted expenditures. At the end of February, our cash balance was at $3.3 million. Are there any questions?
Hearing none, I just wanted to applaud. I don't know the detail of who's responsible, but thanks for maximizing our countless opportunities. That's been a huge improvement. That's great. Very much appreciated. Makes our money go a lot further. Do I have a motion to accept the monthly financial report as presented by Mrs. Cross? Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Next, we have an update on the Freshway change for schools. In February, the amount was actually allocated to the PTOs and public libraries, so there's no change in our total collections of $94,000. And then finally, we have the FY20 annual financial audit. The audit is performed by the Georgia Department of Audits. Fieldwork began on February 16th, and it was all performed remotely this year. The exit conference was held on March 3rd. In attendance were Mr. Callahan, Dr. Hooker, and myself, as well as the auditor in charge of the engagement and the audit manager with the Department of Audits. The school district was given an unmodified financial statement opinion. This is the highest level given and represents no findings or material misstatements. Included is a copy of the annual financial report for your review. And I just want to point out, I know most of you aren't going to spend a lot of time reading it, but I want to point out that most people aren't aware of. In the very beginning, right after the auditor's report, are several pages. It's called the Management's Discussion and Analysis. And this is a narrative explanation of the financial statement. So what this does is it's supposed to help explain all of the numbers for you to understand. And this is written by myself and Dr. Hooker. And it's supposed to be something that helps explain the statements, and it also includes a look at where we are in the financial stability of the district. So you may want to just take a look at that piece. I know a lot of the statements aren't very easily understandable, but that is why that piece is there for you. Are there any questions?
They are asking for the page number that you said they can review that.
So it is at the very beginning, and it's actually starting letter I. It's Roman numerals through. Go down. If you can go back a little bit. You see independent auditor's report and then management's discussion and analysis. So it's right there in the beginning. It starts with the original.
Let me add that on the March 3rd meeting that we had this evening, the auditor did state how easy it was, how cooperative Circle City schools are, which is a credit to Mrs. Cross. And our audit is as good as it gets. It's, no findings, and we really appreciate what you do. That's confirmation of what we already do. So thank you. Next, we have the superintendent's report. I'll turn that over to Dr. Hooker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to start off by just giving you a current count of our student enrollment. As you can see, if you look to your far right, our virtual learning students, those numbers have decreased, and I'd like to thank the principals and the administrative staffs for working with those parents and getting those students back face to face. Our enrollment is now at 1,849 students, 1,567 face-to-face, 282 as virtual students. And again, our administrative team is doing a great job of communicating with our students, with our parents, and making sure that student learning is the most important thing, and I'd like to commend them for that. And that concludes my comments on our student count. And moving to our next item, we will have Ms. Lisa Wilbur come and present our PSAT and our SAT report.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Hooker. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you a quick analysis of Social Circle High School's 2020-21 PSAT and SAT results. Each October, Social Circle High School participates in College Board's PSAT Day. This year, the original test date of October 29th had to be rescheduled due to inclement weather. Fortunately, we were able to offer the PSAT again on January 26th to 226 of our 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students. 104 of the 9th grade students took the digital PSAT 8-9 as indicated by the white bars in the graph. This test is designed specifically for 8th and 9th grade students to help determine if they are on track for high school and beyond. 109 of our 10th grade students and 13 of our 11th grade students took the NMSQT, which is the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, as indicated by the red bars in the graph. Much like the PSAT 8-9, the NMSQT assessment measures what students are learning, determines if they are on track, and opens doors for opportunities to prepare and pay for college. 7 of our students received appropriate accommodations on these College Board assessments. This graph indicates the national percentile rank of our students on each assessment. As you can see, 46% of our 9th grade students scored above the 50th percentile on the PSAT 8-9, and 8% ranked in the 90th percentile nationally. On the NMSQT, 36% of our 10th and 11th grade students scored above the 50th percentile, and 3% ranked in the 90th percentile. This next graph provides participation rates by subgroup on the PSAT day. The white bars represent participation rate for the PSAT 8-9, and the red bars represent participation rates for the NMSQT. This data is comparative to the 9th, 10th, and 11th grade student enrollment data for January the 26th, which represented 49% female students, 51% male students, 28% non-white students, and 72% white students. Our female students represent a higher percentage participation on both assessments. The percentage of participation of both female and non-white students was higher on the PSAT 8-9, while the percentage of participation of both male and white students was higher on the NMSQT. This graph provides percentile rank by subgroup for students who took the PSAT 8-9. While the graph indicates that 46% or more of students in every subgroup ranked below the 50th percentile, conversely, there were also students in every subgroup who ranked in the 90th percentile. 6% of our female students, 10% of our male students, 4% non-white students, and 9% of our white students. For these 9th grade students, this was their first experience at taking a College Board assessment. This graph provides percentile rank by subgroup for students who took the NMSQT. Similar to the previous slide, this graph indicates that 42% or more of students in every subgroup ranked below the 50th percentile, and 3 out of 4 subgroups had students who ranked in the 90th percentile. That's 2% of our female students, 3% of our male students, and 3% of the white students. Additionally, we were able to take advantage of the College Board's SAT school day testing opportunity for our juniors and seniors on March the 3rd. This was a first for our district and a huge win for our students to have the opportunity to take the SAT at the Church of the Grove with familiar staff. 48 students took the SAT, including 5 students who received accommodations. This graph indicates the national percentile rank of our students on the SAT by cohort, and that's their graduation year. 80% of the 12th grade students, that's the 2021 cohort, scored above the 50th percentile, and 7% ranked in the 90th percentile nationally, as indicated by the red bars. Additionally, 61% of the 11th grade students, that's the 2022 cohort, scored above the 50th percentile, and 3% ranked in the 90th percentile nationally, as indicated by the the gray bars, excuse me. This graph provides participation rates by subgroup on SAT day. The red bars represent the participation of our 12th grade students, the 2021 cohort, and the gray bars represent the participation rates of the 11th grade students, the 2022 cohort. These percentages are comparative with the 11th and 12th grade student enrollment data for March the 3rd, 2021. The 12th grade enrollment on this date represented 45% female students, 55% male students, 21% non-white students, and 79% white students. The 11th grade enrollment on this date represented 53% female students, 47% male students, 29% non-white students, and 71% white students. The participation of 11th grade students was higher in every category with the exception of our male students. This last graph provides percentile rank by subgroup on SAT day. The graph indicates less than 44% of students in every subgroup ranked below the 50th percentile, further indicating that 60% of our female students, 83% of our male students, 56% of our non-white students, and 72% of our white students ranked in the 50th percentile or above, with white male students ranking in our 90th percentile. Both of these events, the PSAT Day and the SAT School Day, could not have happened without the time and collective effort of the Social Circle High School team. Our goal is to provide more opportunities such as this for our students in the future. We are one step closer to an excellent and equitable education for our students in Social Circle. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walden, for that presentation. Board members, do you have any questions?
I'd like to know for the percentages for the black
Ms. Wahlberg, I would be curious as to how Social Circle ranks both in the area around us and certainly at the state level. I'm sure those numbers must exist somewhere.
The information they give us gives us a national percentile rank, and I could do some more investigation on, you're talking about in our RESA and against the state, and we can get that.
Certainly at the state level.
Okay.
You're probably aware, but different states approach these tests very differently.
Thank you again, and we have to also take into consideration at this point, a lot of our students do not have to take the SAT because of the waiver, so this is, you will see a lot of high schools do not have as many students taking the SAT or the ACT because they are allowed or accepted based upon their GPA and recommendations. So this is only a skewed number of students. I anticipate that if they require us to, if the colleges require SAT and ACT next school year, we will have more participants for that. But I again want to thank, as Ms. Wilbur did, Church of the Grove for partnering with us for our students to have a place to take it. In most school districts, students have to drive to another county to take it. If we can do it here locally and have our own teachers to serve as supervisors over that, I think that's going to help our students feel more comfortable and we'll get better results in doing that. Any other questions? We'll get that information for you before next week. Thank you. I have a few announcements today. The principals did not speak about the Redskins, but they were able to email me some of the activities that you need to be aware of concerning their schools. The first one is the primary school. Ms. Randy Owens applied for the Facebook grant and recently received $3,174 to purchase another jam board for our school, and she won one of those earlier this school year, I believe. So we want to thank her for doing that. They will also have a pre-K academic screening. That's tomorrow from 8:15 to 1 p.m. At the elementary school, all students will be authors in their own classroom, published books, thanks to the grant from Walton EMC. Our exceptional education tutoring has been a great success this year, but we will be coming to an end on Tuesday, April the 20th. Georgia milestones will be taking place during the first 2 weeks of May as we celebrate our awesome teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week. And then we'll finish the school year with a creative field day for students, as well as the end of the year dojo celebration on May 21st. For middle school, they would like to give an update on their athletics. Baseball finished the season with the record of 16-1 and finished runner-up in the league. The girls soccer made it to the semifinals of the league. The track team, Jada Heyman, Piedmont Athletic Conference, 200 meter champions. They set a new school record of 27:42 seconds. 400 meters champions, a new school record, 1 minute and 2 seconds, 1 minute and 2 seconds. The Jude Nelson Pack long jump champion setting a new school record in the long jump, 18 feet 5 inches. Fourth place, 200 meters, and fourth place, 100 meters, I apologize. In the girls 400 relay team, Sophia Fontenay, Lizzie Gaither, Jada Heyman, and Brielle Price. Boys 400 team relay team came in 6th place. DJ Brown, Andreas Alfredo, Jude Nelson, and Gable Hargrove. Gable Hargrove also came in 8th place in the 800 meters. Their golf team, most members of the kids to ever try out. The most number of kids to ever try out for golf. They won 4 out of 8 matches. And Turin, Houston, and Brest Colville won all but one of their team matches. And they will start math and milestone instructions the week of May. End of the year celebration, student of the month is on April the 30th. Plans for Peebles and the end of the year celebration, honors awards, and preparation for all grade levels. The high school baseball team is currently tied for 2nd place in the region. This Friday, they will play Washington Wilkes in a 3-game series with Commerce next week. Their soccer boys and girls are currently in 2nd place in the region. Their tennis region championship is April the 13th. Boys finished 3rd, girls finished 4th. Track will host the region championship the last week of April. Boys golf team won the Walton County Championship before spring break and will compete for the region championship on April the 28th. And the upcoming event, Honors Night, will be held on May 18th. Senior Week is the first week in April.
Last week in April, sorry.
Last week in April. Okay, sorry, I misread that. I don't know why I gave you that. I apologize. Okay, prom is May 1st. And Chick-fil-A Leader Academy Frontline Appreciation Dinner will be Friday, April the 23rd. And again, as I always end, I'd like to thank our governance team for helping us to lead this district during the pandemic and social unrest. As a unit, we will continue to model for our community and grow into becoming a high-performance governance team. Your decision always made in what is in the best interest of our students. And that concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Hooker. Next on our agenda is new business action items. The first of these, public participation in board meetings. We talked about this at our last meeting, and it's set appropriate amount of time so we can vote on it tonight. Just to highlight the change is that going forward, it'll be 24 hours advance notice to be on the agenda to speak at a public participation at a board meeting. We're going to limit participant to 3 minutes as opposed to 5. And we're going to limit the allotted time for all public comments to 30 minutes, which would mean 10 or less people would be speaking at any public participation event at any board meeting in the future. And this is brought about by just a change in the law, so we have to adopt the policy to follow the law. And so, hearing that, do I have a motion to accept the recommendation from our superintendent for our new public participation in board meetings policy? Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say aye. Motion carries unanimously. So the new policy, does that take effect July 1st? It does. Effective July 1st. All right, the next one on the agenda here in B is the, I think we just heard about a high school golf team here, and it looks like they're going on a field trip for their tournament on the 28th of April, perhaps. Maybe it's earlier than that. We have a request for a field trip for the high school team. It's actually April 18th overnight to the 19th. And I'm not sure where Double Oaks Golf Course is, but Commerce, okay. So do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for this field trip for our golf team? Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say aye. Motion carries unanimously. Under C, we have a sexual harassment of students policy here. Click on it, open it. And talked about this previously, so this is just a discussion tonight, it will sit for 30 days.
Right.
Can Dr. Hooker, do you have someone who can kind of highlight the changes for the board for this?
I do not at this time, but I do want to share with you the next 4 policies that you have here. These are the recommendations from the state, the updated changes that you see here for the sexual harassment, the equal education opportunities, and the sexual harassment of employees and equal opportunity employment. Those are all recommendation changes from the State Department.
Exit executive session and re-enter regular session. Have a second.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say aye. Back in regular session. We have some recommendations from our superintendent of personnel. We'll take the certified recommendations all in one slate. First, for continuing employment for 21-22, Sarita Carr, high school teacher, Stephen Diaz, middle school teacher, Rebecca White, elementary school teacher. Do I have a motion to accept these recommendations from our superintendent? Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say aye. Motion carries unanimously. We have these further certified recommendations from our superintendent for next school year. Christy Thornton, middle school certified teacher, special education. William Schneider, middle school certified teacher, mathematics. Barbara Maddox, high school certified teacher, science. Jocelyn Holton, school system social worker. Jamie Fletcher, high school certified teacher, special education. Julie Sermons, assistant principal, elementary school. Do I have a motion to accept these personnel recommendations from our superintendent? Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say aye. Motion carries unanimously. Moving right along to classified recommendations from our superintendent. Ryan Edis, lay coach for the high school softball team. And Emma Elizabeth Gaddis, school system lead nurse. Do I have a motion to accept these classified recommendations from our superintendent?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say aye. Motion carries unanimously. Last recommendation from our superintendent for classified is a retirement at the end of the school year. Sheila Massey, school food service primary school. I have a motion to accept this recommendation from our superintendent. Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say aye. Motion carries unanimously. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say aye. Motion carries unanimously. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.